which probably contributed to fix that suspicion in his mind which had recently entered it. For a short time he sat deep in thought, after Eleanor had ceased to speak. At last, and as if it were rather an effort, he said,
"Colonel Brandon seems a man of great worth and respectability. I have always heard him spoken of as such, and your brother, I know, esteems him highly. He is undoubtedly a sensible man, and in his manners perfectly the gentleman."
"Indeed,"
replied Eleanor.
"I believe you will find him on further acquaintance all that you have heard him to be, and as you will be such very near neighbours, for I understand the parsonage is almost close to the mansion house, it is particularly important that he should be all this."
Edward made no answer, but when she had turned away her head, gave her a look so serious, so earnest, so uncheerful, as seemed to say that he might hereafter wish the distance between the parsonage and the mansion house much greater.
"Colonel Brandon, I think, lodges in St. James Street,"
said he, soon afterwards, rising from his chair. Eleanor told him the number of the house.
"I must hurry away, then, to give him those thanks which you will not allow me to give you, to assure him that he has made me an exceedingly happy man."
Eleanor did not offer to detain him, and they parted, with a very earnest assurance on her side of her unceasing good wishes for his happiness in every change of situation that might befall him; on his, with rather an attempt to return the same goodwill than the power of expressing it.
"When I see him again,"
said Eleanor to herself as the door shut him out,
"I shall see him the husband of Lucy."
And with this pleasing anticipation she sat down to reconsider the past, recall the words and endeavour to comprehend all the feelings of Edward, and of course to reflect on her own with discontent. When Mrs. Jennings came home, though she returned from seeing people whom she had never seen before, and of whom therefore she must have a great deal to say, her mind was so much more occupied by the important secret in her possession than by anything else, that she reverted to it again as soon as Eleanor appeared.
"Well, my dear,"
she cried,
"I sent you up the young man. Did not I do right? And I suppose you had no great difficulty. You did not find him very unwilling to accept your proposal?"
"No, ma'am, that was not very likely."
"Well, and how soon will he be ready? For it seems all to depend upon that."
"Really,"
said Eleanor,
"I know so little of these kind of forms that I can hardly even conjecture as to the time or the preparation necessary, but I suppose 2 or 3 months will complete his ordination."
2 or 3 months!
cried Mrs. Jennings.
Lord, my dear, how calmly you talk of it! And can the Colonel wait 2 or 3 months? Lord bless me, I'm sure it would put me quite out of patience. And though one would be very glad to do a kindness by poor Mr. Ferrars, I do think it is not worth while to wait 2 or 3 months for him. Sure somebody else might be found that would do as well, somebody that is in orders already."
"My dear ma'am,"
said Eleanor,
"what can you be thinking of? Why, Colonel Brandon's only object is to be of use to Mr. Ferrars."
"Lord bless you, my dear! Sure you do not mean to persuade me that the Colonel only marries you for the sake of giving 10 guineas to Mr. Ferrars?"
The deception could not continue after this, and an explanation immediately took place, by which both gained considerable amusement for the moment, without any material loss of happiness to either. For Mrs. Jennings only exchanged one form of delight for another, and still without forfeiting her expectation of the first.
Ay, the parsonage is but a small one,"
said she, after the first ebullition of surprise and satisfaction was over,
"and very likely may be out of repair, but to hear a man apologizing, as I thought, for a house that to my knowledge has 5 sitting rooms on the ground floor, and I think the housekeeper told me could make up 15 beds, and to you too that had been used to live in Barton Cottage, it seems quite ridiculous. But, my dear, we must touch up the Colonel to do something to the parsonage, and make it comfortable for them before Lucy goes to it."
"But Colonel Brandon does not seem to have any idea of the livings being enough to allow them to marry."
"The Colonel is a ninny, my dear. Because he has 2,000 a year himself, he thinks that nobody else can marry on less. Take my word for it that if I am alive I shall be paying a visit to Delaford Parsonage before Michaelmas, and I am sure I shan't go if Lucy ain't there."
Elinor was quite of her opinion as to the probability of their not waiting for anything more. Chapter 40.